talk about functions, and it's really important first to talk about the definition of a function. So a function is a relation in which each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element of the range. And this might be a little bit confusing if you do not know the terms domain and range. Domain is typically our x values or the first number in our ordered pair relation, where our range is our y values, which is the second number in our ordered pair relation, usually our y values. The most important thing to know about functions is every x value can only have one y value. So that means none of the values in our domain can repeat for it to be a function. Let's take a look at an example. So an example problem, we have our squiggle brackets, 2, 3, 5, 6, negative 3, 2, and 4, 5. As you can tell, the domain, the first number in each ordered pair is 2, 5, negative 3, and 4. So because none of those numbers repeat, it is a function. If we look at not a function, we have 2, 4, 9, 8, 18, 2, 2, 3, and negative 1, 5. And why is this not a function? This is not a function because our domain, our x value of 2, repeats. We have 2, 4, and 2, 3. If both of those points were 2, 4, though, we'd be okay because that's the same point. But because they have two different y values, it is not a function. Another way to determine if something is a function or not is we use the vertical line test. And I like to abbreviate that as VLT. No, not a BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato. We use this to help us determine graphically if a graph is a function or not. So if we put a vertical line at every single point or part of the graph, it can only hit that graph once. If it hits more than once, it is not a function. And we always have to be careful that we're using a vertical line, not a horizontal line, because a horizontal line will be a totally different portion of this. So we want to do a vertical line to see if it hits more than once. And we can't just do one vertical line and be like, it only hits once, we're good to go. No, because we want to see at every single point, does it only hit once? So let's take a look at an example. An example here would be our circle. If I drew a vertical line on the outside here, it would only hit once. And some of us would be like, it hits once. It passes the vertical line test. Incorrect, because at all these other points, it hits twice. So if you can see, our blue line is the line for our vertical line test. And it hits 1, 2 times, so it is not a function. However, the one on this side would be a function because when I pass my vertical line test at every single point on that graph, it only hits once. So that would be a function. Let's take a look at some example problems and see if they are functions or not. So maybe this can help you understand functions versus not functions. So I take a look, I have my ordered pair relation. I see I have a negative 2 here and a negative 2 here. However, they both have the same y value. They both have the value of 7, so that is still going to be a function. I know this confuses a lot of people, but because they both have the same y value, that's okay. They're the same point. It's like we can cross one of these out. We just wrote it twice. Another problem here, if we take a look, we have an x value of 7 and another x value of 7 at the end, but their y values are two different numbers, so that is not a function. Here's a table, so a different way of viewing it. So if I look at the table, I have a y value, an x value of 2, the y value of 20, 4, 3, and another 2. So we have our inputs, which are our x values, with 2 2's for our x's. If we take a look, our y's for those are 20 and 40, so that would not be a function. Now, if we try this problem, we take a look. We have an x value of negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. This is going to be a function because none of our x values are repeating. These are all different x values. Then I take a look at here. We have a graph, so we are going to use the vertical line test. So if I draw a vertical line here, it only hits once. But we can't just do it in one place. We have to do it at all places on the graph. So if I draw my vertical line here, I hit once, I hit twice, so that is not a function. This is called a mapping diagram. The mapping diagram shows us a different way of wording our ordered pairs. So we can see that -3 goes with 4, 1 with 5, 2 with -12, but 2 also goes with 9. So our 2 repeats, so that is not a function. The 2 has 2 lines coming from it, so it's not a function. And that is all for functions. I hope this gives you a little bit clarity. You have some example problems, and now you know if something's a function.